Hi everyone, I'm Carrie Espinosa with Horizon Benefit Services, and today I'm going to walk you through Medicare.gov and how to compare your Medicare Part D plan options for the upcoming year for 2026. This applies to our clients who have a standalone Medicare Part D plan. And as a friendly reminder, you are absolutely welcome to continue with your enrollment through Medicare.gov. If you do so, we won't be able to service you. When we get through to the end of our slides, you'll see you also have the option to call us at the agency at 847-746-6115 with your plan selection. We'll enroll you on our end, and then we can continue to service you throughout the 2026 calendar year. All right, let's get started. We're going to log in to Medicare.gov. So go out to Medicare.gov, and at the top right, you will see a sign-in button or link. Click on that and enter your username and your password. If you have not yet created your Medicare.gov account, please pause this, go do that, and then come back and join us. Okay? So you see here we're logging in, we're entering our login and our password, and it takes us to our Medicare.gov home screen. This is our personal home screen. You'll see your name listed. It'll say hello name. Obviously, I have things blurred out here to protect someone's privacy. There are a lot of things that you can do here, but what we're going to focus on today is comparing your Medicare Part D plan options for 2026. So please, at the top, click on Health and Drug Plans. Once you click on Health and Drug Plans, it'll say Find Health and Drug Plans. Please click on that. Here it lists your current Medicare Part D plan. And if you don't currently have a Medicare Part D plan, you'll have to just kind of continue down this process without seeing a plan listed at the top. As we scroll down, we'll see a list of pharmacies. It says review your pharmacy list. Here you'll want to ensure that you've selected the pharmacies where you will want to compare pricing. And that's important because just like every plan has a different formulary with different drugs covered at different tiers and different costs, guess what? Each pharmacy is also going to have different pricing. You'll see that as we go through today's presentation. So in this scenario, we've got someone who's currently on these 4 medications, and I want to go through an example where a medication is listed that someone's no longer taking. In this case, someone is no longer taking furosemide. So we're going to go to edit my drug list, okay? And click on the the drug that's no longer needed, and then select remove drug. When you're reviewing the list, you might notice that there are medications that you're taking that are not listed. In that case, you have a couple different options. You can manually add them, or you can add recently filled drugs. When you add recently filled drugs, know that they're going to add everything. Whether or not it's actually really filled or needs to be filled, things like amoxicillin, right? If you had a hip replacement and you need to take amoxicillin because of that, that will show up. I'm not sure if those one-offs, if you want to include those in your drug plan analysis, you absolutely can. And you can go back in your analysis and edit this as well. But this is just getting us started. So in this case, we're going to add a prescription that's not currently listed. And you'll see when we click on add prescription, it'll pull up a drug field where we can enter the medication we're taking. Because I have a lot of clients taking the medication Xarelto, we're going to use that as the example here. So you start typing in the drug name, it pulls it up, and it says, all right, Xarelto, add the drug. Oh, but wait, your drug has a generic. Do you want to take the generic or do you want to keep the brand? In this case, in this scenario, we're going to go ahead and move forward with the generic. Please know, if you are really taking the brand, you should indicate that you want the brand. However, a lot of times we're saying that we're on a drug and we're using the brand name, but we're really taking the generic. So while you're doing this, have your pill bottles sitting next to you so that you make sure that you're entering the right medication, and we're analyzing right? The right medication. All right, so we enter the drug, we're going to select the dosage, we're going to select the quantity, and the frequency. In this case, we're selecting 2.5 milligram tablet. We're going to select 30 pills every month, and we're going to continue on through the process. Oh, but wait, in this case, gosh, I should have selected a 90-day fill, right? So I'm going to go back and edit this, and I'm going to say, no, wait, let me correct the Xarelto. It's 90 pills every 3 months, okay? And you see me going here, fixing this. All right. Now we're going to continue on to the next screen. So once we're ready to compare, now we've got all of our pharmacies listed. We've got our prescription drugs listed. We're scrolling down. Now we're ready to compare plans for the upcoming year. So we're going to click on Find Plans Now. You'll notice that a box pops up or a pop-up appears that says, what year are we looking at? Let's say 2026, because that's what we should be looking at. And the zip code where Medicare.gov has your address listed pops up. So in this case, we're looking at a Lake County, Illinois zip code. All right. Now we're going to click on Find Plans Now. And it's going to ask us, which plans do you want to look at? Listen, I want to look at Medicare Part D because that's what this is all about. This is about analyzing our standalone Medicare Part D plan for 2026. We'll click on Find Plans, and you see that it's pulling up some alternative plans. Now, as we're looking at this, we can sort plans by the lowest premium. We can sort them by the lowest out-of-pocket cost. I always want to sort by lowest total estimated cost because I want the monthly premium and the out-of-pocket selected. So I've got my current drug plan. I'm going to select another one and add to compare. Yep, I'm going to select yet another plan and add to compare. And you see at the bottom, that top slide, shot number 32, it's collecting the plans at the bottom of the Medicare.gov screen. Then over on the right, I'm going to click on compare, and it's going to show me a side-by-side comparison at a very high level of the 3 plans that I'm wanting to analyze. My current plan and 2 alternatives. All right. And then here, if we scroll down on that screen, you see that it's going to show that our out-of-pocket costs, how much they look, how much we're going to be spending out-of-pocket at each pharmacy. And based on each plan. Yeah, if you don't love numbers, I'm sorry. If you do love numbers, this is going to be right up your alley. So I'm looking at these numbers. I'm saying, wow, I think that first plan and Osco Pharmacy is looking really good. So I'm going to select that and go into the plan details because now I want to take a deeper dive and I want to better understand this plan specifically, what it's going to do and how it's going to work. All right. So I select this plan, I scroll down on the screen, and in this case, I'm looking at the pharmacies I've selected and, mail order pharmacy, which appears to be a little bit cheaper. All right, I think I might want to do mail order pharmacy, but I might also want to go into a local pharmacy. So I'm really curious to know what all these costs are. After some consideration, I really feel like, that mail order pharmacy is probably the direction I'm going to be going. Now, know that you're looking at your 2026 Medicare drug plans. You're not committing yet at this point where you're going to get the prescriptions filled, okay? But I want to pick one of the pharmacies for a deeper dive. So we're going to go now to level 3. And I'm going to click mail order pharmacy as that deeper dive. Here, when you scroll further, you can see that selecting the pharmacy and your costs during each of the coverage stages. So, for example, I'm able to see, wow, those first 4 drugs aren't really going to cost me anything. This must be one of those Medicare drug plans that covers the generic drugs before the deductible. But that last drug, boy, that one's going to be a doozy, right? Not really, but it's going to be definitely a lot more than the first 4. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at a deduction, or I'm deducting information saying, I bet you, because that's a brand drug, even though the system asked me if I wanted the generic, it's still in that tier 3 category. So Medicare.gov is looking at it as a brand level drug. That's where my costs are going. And I can see that in the first few months, the first few fills, I'm going to be satisfying my Medicare Part D deductible. Now, I've looked at stuff, I've done this a few times, so I don't want to take anybody through any agonizing pain with these. You can watch the video over and over if you need to, but I'm pretty sure that this is the plan that I'm going to want based on that, and I'll probably fill my drugs via the mail order pharmacy. I'm going to go back to compare plans, and that compare plans is going to give me the option to either go ahead and enroll and know that these plans are not the same as the first three. It's because I went back to 2025 to pull up a screenshot so you could see what the enroll button looks like. Right now, looking at 2026 plans, we're not going to have that enroll button show up until on or after October 15th, because the annual enrollment period is October 15th through December 7th. Okay? But I say, gosh, yep, I want this plan, but I'm not so sure that I want to go this on my own. I think I might like to call Horizon Benefit Services and have them handle my enrollment, and then they can service me for the year. So know that we're absolutely happy and pleased to provide ongoing service. As I said in my annual review presentation, where we talked about some of the changes that are affecting my industry, given that most of the plans aren't compensating us, I just couldn't spend and invest the time and provide a quality level of service for my clients um, with doing all of the heavy lifting and all of the analysis. And as you can see, it's really not that difficult. The hardest part is really making sure that we've got all the drugs listed in the pharmacy and that we're understanding how to analyze and look at this. So hopefully this video helped. We also have classes that we'll be offering at the College of Lake County. The dates that we have them scheduled for are November 8th, November 22nd, and December 6th. I'm still finalizing some details with the College of Lake County, so know that information will be forthcoming about that. And we just look forward to serving you however that looks. We also have our Medicare Part D affiliate program for clients who really just don't want to do this on their own. We've got a strategic partner who's going to help. So if you are wanting to work with somebody to do your Medicare Part D analysis for a fee, you will be looking at mypartdclub.com, and we'll be helping again through that process by collecting medications, and they will be reaching out to you for a review. All right, everyone. I hope this was as informative as you were hoping. Obviously, the more drugs you have, the more complicated it is. We appreciate you and look forward to serving you in 2026.